All right, welcome to episode 5 of Crew Akintunde. And today I have two special guests with us, Lavelle and Kev. So today we wanted to touch many different topics from LA and what it's really like over here. So I want to start off with you.
Okay. Um, well, my name is Lavelle. That's correct. Um, First question I want to ask is what does that stand for? We're on a cop. Say that again.
So it's Crew Akintunde.
Okay, which is
So my middle name is Akintunde, and
okay.
it's like a Nigerian name. It's a Yoruba name.
Okay.
So I just like the meaning of it. Akintunde means a king has returned
Okay.
in Yoruba, or like you can say like a great one has returned.
Okay.
So that's what it means. But I was named after my grandparent.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. My social media handle is King Kieran, which is Kieran is a mythological Japanese mythological beast, which
Yeah.
kind of means returning of the king to the empire.
Oh.
So I can relate to that, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my name's Lavelle. I grew up right here in the San Fernando Valley, right here in Granada Hills. Pretty much most of my life, Um, my other half was pretty much in Van Nuys, Panorama City area, which is it's about 12 miles
Yeah.
from Granada Hills. Still the valley, San Fernando Valley. So this has been my home my whole life. Turning 41 next month, 17th. So, I'm just glad to still be here, man. When you grow up in harsh environments like L.A. County, you're subjected to a lot of different environments, a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures. It's definitely a mixing pot, and I'm thankful to be able to grow up in um, the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
I have a majority of all my friends are mixed, cultures. So growing up here, I was able to experience a lot of different ethnicities, backgrounds.
Yeah.
As far as food. You want if you come to the San Fernando Valley, this is like your one-stop shop for every, like I said, cultural background you can think of. You
Yeah.
know, and each city has its own unique, you know, um, cultural background. You know. So with that being said, yeah, man, I grew up right here in the San Fernando Valley, and this is my home, man. I love it. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I made a lot of cool connections. I met a lot of cool people living out here in the valley, and yeah, this is my home. This is definitely where it's at. This is where you want to be if you want to network, meet people. Um, yeah, this is where it's at, man. So I'm definitely blessed and thankful to be able to live in this state. It's very expensive to live here. You
Yeah.
know, my parents were one of the many that migrated back here in the 80s after they got laid off from General Motors, so they start shutting down all the factories. So a huge migration of people start coming out from Michigan, Chicago, from Ohio,
Yeah.
coming up from Alabama, so yeah, a lot of people start migrating out here in the 80s, and I was one of them. My parents, although I was originally born in Ohio, but I came out here when I was 8 months.
Yeah.
So before I was even a year, so in back in '83. So
What part of Ohio were you in?
Elyria, Ohio, which is Lorain County, just right outside of Cleveland.
Okay.
It'd be the equivalent of the valley, like the valley is to LA.
Yeah, because
You know,
I lived in Cincinnati for 4 years. So, like, from the age of like 14 to I think 18. I was
yeah,
there for high school.
high school.
But yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah, so that's my that's my background as far as where I was raised. Granada Hills. Um, like I said, a lot of people don't know where that's at. That's in the San Fernando Valley, inside Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
You know, so on the north side, North Hills of the valley. You know.
For sure.
But yeah, Kev, you want to introduce yourself, brother? Let them know where you come
Yeah,
from and what part of the valley you from, brother.
I already, yeah. My name's Kevin. Yeah, I grew up out here in LA too. All over the place, pretty much. Not all over the place, but down like Koreatown when I was young, and then we moved over to the valley. So I've been all over the valley, but mostly like Canoga Park. Lived in Agora Hills too for a bit. Right now I live in mid city, pretty much you would call it mid city,
Yeah.
Fairfax, the Grove.
Which is rare because like a lot of people move from LA to the valley. You actually moved from the valley kind of mid city LA, but mid city is wealthy. You can't just
Yeah,
nobody
it's
could just
it's
live out the mid city. Mid city is way more expensive, believe it or not, than
well, the whole
valley,
mid city
right?
is not really wealthy as a
Right.
whole,
But a
but
majority
the
of it.
section of it, like where I stay, is like Wilshire. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
that's
So
considered
Fairfax,
the ideal place
Melrose,
to
like
live.
it's a
Yeah.
higher cost of living in that part for sure. But I just moved around. I've been in LA my whole entire life, and I live in Mexico right now too, in Guadalajara, like back and forth. So I'm in Guadalajara from Jalisco to here, back and forth the last few years.
Yeah, Mexico's beautiful, by the way. Now, a majority of Californians, Americans are starting to move to TJ. They're rebuilt in the last 5 years. That's all they've been doing is rebuilding
Mhm.
Mexico. It's actually extremely beautiful on the border now.
And
you
it's
know?
cheaper
No,
too.
I don't know about
No,
that.
no, no, no. Actually, no.
There's
Serious,
beautiful
serious.
parts and like structures and buildings
It's
and malls and stuff, but the border towns are literally like
they start remodeling, right?
you don't
From
want
what
to.
I've
You
heard.
don't want to. Those are the worst states in Mexico, to be honest.
Border?
Yeah, all border towns are.
So don't go to the
It
border.
depends on what you are doing and what, you know,
Yeah.
your lifestyle is really. It's
Yeah.
Because I mean, I haven't been down to Mexico. Like, we were just talking about this earlier. How like every single Californian back in the day, if you were 18, because we can't drink here, we were going down to Mexico every single weekend to party and have fun and party back in the day. Like I said, I'm 41, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we used to love going to TJ and hanging out on the border for the weekend. Get drunk, come back. Go to Papa's and beer.
yeah, Papa's in beer.
So that's another, beautiful thing about living, in California. You can, up the weekend and say, hey, we're going to Vegas. It's 2.5, 3 hours away, depending on who's driving, and hell, you say, hey, we're going to San Diego or the border, another 2.5 hours in the other direction. So, yeah, man, yeah, man, I love our state, man. I definitely love growing up in California. It's definitely the ideal place.
Cause like
Ideal place.
property. So you own property in Mexico, right?
No, at this point, I don't own property. I have a bunch of land. I guess you can say that's property, right? I want to build property on there, but my family owns a ton of land in a pueblo, in the mountains, pretty much in Jalisco. So I have a lot of family over there. Every time I go there, I keep meeting new people that are part of my family. But we just have a lot of land that is my grandpa's, and it gets passed down to me and my mom. So that would be like the main goal is to build, a business or something surrounding agriculture or farm animals and stuff. 'Cause that's what we have over there. We have a bunch of ranches.
Yeah.
So I would like to pretty much construct like another ranch or two or something. But it's in the middle of nowhere. So as far as like making an Airbnb or like rental, because all the mountains right here, everything all around, like is not even like an eighth of what our land looks like.
Oh, so it's a
Yeah,
lot.
so it's a lot. So if it was near like a main city, it's like an hour outside of a main city. So if it was near any main city, then it would make sense to like construct, certain businesses or something like that. But you got to go off a path
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and then off the path you got to drive like 40 minutes into the mountains it's not even a road, it's just dirt, and then you see all like the little ranches that my family have, like you know.
Yeah,
So
they're good for agriculture. Definitely, that's
yeah,
something I definitely want to invest in the future. You know, agricultural, put cows on the land, grow.
Yeah.
You know, or like I said, cows. You know, or
they
some
have
type of
cattle there,
animals.
like
Animals.
pigs, and
Yeah,
my family
a
has all
lot of
the
money
pigs,
there.
the chickens, the goats,
A lot
a
of
lot of
butcheries.
horses too. We got corrals and stuff. And they grow tamarindo. Tamarindo is like something that they grow a lot out there. What else do they grow? I'm not really sure. I know tamarindo is a big one though, but sugar cane and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they produce paper for from trees that are on our land. So they contract out. Companies come in, they pick up the trees and the lumber, they produce it in the paper, and then it gets dispersed out to the rest of the world. So that's a
That's
big
awesome.
money
Yeah, you know
pit
what?
right there.
The thing is with California being next door to Mexico, Mexico has some of the number one resources in the world, especially our oil. You know, we contract a lot of, you know, our automotive industry to Mexico, and we also get 90% of our oil, believe it or not, from Mexico. A lot of our oil that we get here, we don't use. We put it in our reserves.
Yeah.
So the oil that we're actually using for our cars and burning off, we get 90% of it from Mexico.
Also a ton
There's
of
a lot of
lithium
money.
deposits out there too. That
Mexico has a lot of money
a lot
there
of
in the
lithium that
country.
they're trying to.
So like the
A lot of
current
economical growth.
state of it, like why would? Because I know there's a lot of like issues right now with like politics over there. Not politics, but like
They
like
just got a
some-
new Mexican president,
Yeah.
a woman, who's now she's the first Mexican woman for a
Yeah.
president.
Like what would you say like is the issue with like infrastructure, like the not even infrastructure, but like social issues over there?
Well, a lot of it is, I believe, money. I want to hear what Kevin, because that's his,
Yeah.
that's definitely his field and knowledge.
Social issues.
Like, cause I know like my mom's Nigerian, so like there's a lot of issues there with corruption.
Poverty and poverty, indifferences and social indifferences.
Yeah, and like a lot.
I
of
mean,
people,
everybody knows what goes down in Mexico. You know, you could pretty much piece it together. You know what I mean? What
Corruption.
the corruption is like over there, but it's definitely not what American media makes it out to be.
Mhm.
It is what it is. What they make it out to be is really what happens, but not at the rate that they make it sound like, right?
Yeah.
You have to really be in the mix, getting in the way of like business of certain like groups to really have an issue or to really, you know, have eyes on you in a way. Or and then you got the police, right, where they like to rob you, and they're even their own citizens and here and there
Yeah.
and this and that, and they have you know, the military is the only group that's really gonna step in and help out people in need or in trouble or citizens or anything of that sort. But even the military sometimes they'll be corrupt. But it's like everywhere. I feel way safer in Mexico, and I've been to many states in Mexico, right? And you know, pueblos, barrios, like all the cities, and I feel way safer in Mexico than I do in LA for sure. Cause LA is like, it's like you don't know what the fuck can happen. You know what I mean? You could walk to your car one day, coming from the store or whatever, and a group of motherfuckers that think that you're a lick or they see something that they might like and they'll try you. It's like everything's sporadic and random.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
gangs,
yeah.
you got people on drugs, you got people in gangs on drugs, you know, doing crazy shit, and with no repercussion, right? Their gang or another, no one's gonna, you know, discipline them the right way, or the cops don't even do anything sometimes, and it's like there's no repercussions. Out there, it's like, especially if you're a tourist or you're from another country, if they know that anyone in the hometown or any citizens are fucking with tourists in any type of way, they're gonna get, you know, reprimanded or disciplined, and because you're fucking up the economy, you're fucking up the cash flow and the money from the tourists coming in by doing dirty shit. Like, don't get me wrong, you'll get robbed sometimes, shit happens anywhere.
That's everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more controlled out there, and it's not out in the open. Like things get dealt with kind of like quick and quiet. You know what I'm saying?
So you would say it's easier for a foreigner to like go live out there and like be safer than it is even here.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends. It really everywhere's got their own and I don't like saying that either because I also don't like seeing a bunch of it's like I wasn't born and raised in Mexico. That's where my family's from, and I'm a tourist in a way. I'm an immigrant out there in a way, even though I have a lot of family out there, and I don't like seeing immigrants and tourists out there buying property, businesses, gentrifying neighborhoods. I fucking hate that shit. If it's helping the people out and the citizens, I understand. That's cool. I get it. But some of the shit I see just takes away the authenticity of like certain areas, and it's just not it anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. So as far as like trying to make it sound welcoming and like like it's a new place, like I'm not condoning that because I don't like that shit. I'd rather just keep it at it's dangerous. Don't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand, it works both ways. When we have America's a country of wealth, okay? So everything's based off of wealth, So if there's any opportunity to go to another country or land and build, okay? Because I mean, let's be honest, that's what we've been doing since the beginning of time. Whether it's evading a land, right?
Yeah.
Conquering
invading,
a land, or just occupying it,
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I mean, us as humans, we need to survive, and we're always going to look for a comfortable way to survive. And in the modern day society, and even in ancient times, it was wealth. That's what allowed us to live comfortably.
Yeah.
So I don't ever have any quarries with people wanting to come to America for a better life and to build and to, as long as you have the wealth and you have the means to do so,
Yeah.
okay? I mean, then I'm all for that. But like I said, on another note, I mean, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance with, and preserving, like Kevin said, preserving certain cultures in the land. Natives are really, big on that. And every other country that has a neighboring country is big on that, preserving their land and making sure that the neighboring country doesn't invade their land, My baby mama being from Pakistan, and we were talking about this early, how the Indians, Aiden and Taylor and I were talking about how the Indians and, Pakistan, they're a neighboring country, how Pakistan, my wife's from Pakistan, that's one of the newest countries. It's only 79 years old due to, there was a neighboring conflict, And so with that being said, there's always going to be issues, with that. And California is definitely one of those states to where we've always had an issue about, whether it's race politics, whether it's about, gang politics. This is definitely one of those states to where it's made a lot of noise and pushed it out there, But on another note, let's get into the more intense nitty gritty of California lifestyle. I want to touch back on what Kevin was saying about, like, it being safe out here and, the whole shit with these bums and homeless people and watching the whole, shit evolve in the past 5 years, which is just, it's fucking insane, A lot of people come out to California and they think shit is sweet. You can go to the wrong fucking area.
Yeah.
And shit seems calm, and then next thing you know, you either dodging bullets, you're getting shot at. You'll definitely become a victim out here if you think certain areas are safe, and that's the that's the mystery of California.
It's, in LA too, it's not even about what area you're in. It doesn't matter where the fuck you're at. It's kind of wild, like, and you got people coming up from, you can go down one neighborhood and it's just, Section 8, whatever, lower income, and then you go down a couple blocks and it's gated community, and then you go down a mile and it's a whole beautiful new mall that, you got people from different different areas coming to go, and anything can happen anywhere pretty much. It's just a matter of what you do and how you interact with people and go through your day.
And that's how it's set up here in California, right? I mean, you got to understand. I mean, it's what I call the Robin Hood, effect. You know, no poor people go rob from poor people. They don't have shit to rob. You know, you're gonna go into the areas where there's wealth, where you can take some shit from somebody. So, in the last few years, the whole effect of, you got to understand, people are asking what the fuck has changed. Ain't nothing really changed other than the outcome of your fucking your situation as to what the fuck you did. What crime you fucking committed. Do you understand? And is there repercussions for it? Well, guess what? Here in California, we're so over fucking populated, our jail systems, that the only thing you can do is limit the repercussions for one's actions now. Meaning whatever the fuck that may be. Whether it's, whether you out here shooting a motherfucker, robbing, whether you're selling drugs, whether you're stealing, once you have a fucking jail system that's overcrowded like California, then that's where the real fucking problem is. Our jail system is shit. It's crap. It's one of the worst jail systems in the world because it's the evolving door of wealth. That's all it is. The
Like
government gets
private
money
prisons?
to house.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's a perfect formula for fucking disaster, and everybody has been, suffering in the past, I'd say 3 to 5 years due to this situation. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're fucking young, Kevin's age, whether you're my age, whether it's your age. Everybody is suffering in California due to this in particular problem.
Of like the prison system and stuff.
Of the prison systems, and then, like I said, it's the wealth. Where the fuck did all these bums and these fucking homeless people? These people are doing dope, going into what they call psychosis, stabbing people.
Yeah.
When you're up for, 5-6 days at a fucking time. I used to do dope. I was on fucking dope, so I know. So when you're up for 5 or 6 fucking days at a time, and your pupils are dilating, and then you start to see shadow fucking people because your pupils are dilated, your brain, and I studied this, what happens is after the 4th day, your brain starts to swell. The front of your lobe, and you can read this, the front of your lobe starts to swell, and that's where your optic nerves are, okay?
Yeah.
So you start to see shadows. It lets more lights into your pupil, and you start to see shadow peoples. If you turn and there's something right here, and you turn, you'll think it's something right there until you turn and look at it because your pupils are so wide open. So these people have been up for 5-6 days seeing shadow people, and they think you're a demon. And now all of a sudden, random people are getting stabbed everywhere. You got to understand, crystal meth's been around for a long time. Why all of a sudden, in the last 2 to 3 years, people are getting stabbed every single fucking day randomly. And
Like
it's
in
from people
downtown,
on
so-
crystal meth.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's just a fucking, like, I don't want to be with my homie or my daughter or something out, and then some random motherfucker, I got to fight off a random motherfucker with a big ass Bowie knife. So California is definitely with the shit. And it doesn't matter whether, what fucking, race, age, everybody in California is fed up with this homeless situation, you
Yeah.
know? So, like I said, with that being said, I love California, and I'm honestly thinking about fucking moving, probably to fucking Texas or possibly Nevada, just for the simple fact that, I'm more so if I want my own land, like Kevin was saying, I want my own land, and motherfuckers step on your land, be able to, take care of certain situations, and who doesn't want to have their own piece of land and their own freedom to build, to, have your friends, family over, do whatever the fuck you want. California is no longer a desirable state to be in. It's just the quality of life has definitely it's downgraded past
Yeah.
couple years.
Like I think like definitely some places that any place like with that deals with overpopulation,
Yeah.
people are gonna go insane. Like you're gonna start seeing like people with like ruder attitudes, people that like are very like fed up. Cause like even like I was in London for a little bit, and I was staying there. And one thing that I noticed about a lot of the people is that they're very like like hustle and bustle, like that's all they care about, or they get like irritated very fast. And I feel like that's like the problem with California or LA, like in particular, is like it's just like the overpopulation, and some people just like don't know how to deal with it. Like there's the glamour with it too.
Well, like I said, we weren't overpopulated a couple years ago. All this shit due to COVID and the amount of money the government was giving out, it caused a huge, massive influx in our homeless population because all people had to do was come out here, get a hotel room, and you were gonna get over $2,000 a month. Do you know how much $2,000 a month in Kansas and other states, when their rent is only $400 or $500 a month for a home? You see what I mean? So a lot of those people were coming out here. Some were just getting it because it's a visa, and you can use that, anywhere in the United States. So a lot of them were coming out here and going back home. A lot of them, the drug addicts, are like, fuck it, it's sunshine, fucking, I'm not going back to my state right now. It's COVID, lockdown, shitty ass shit. We got beach weather. So it's a huge, massive influx in the homeless populations at Venice Beach. Why? Because it's on the beach. You got all these motherfuckers coming from out of state. Who doesn't want to live on the beach? There's no fucking possible way you got over a couple thousand homeless people in 1 year, and there wasn't even fucking, 20 or 30 homeless people all up and down Venice Beach since I was a kid. It was only maybe, you can count damn near, on your hands and toes how many homeless people you see,
I feel like Venice always had fucking
Yeah, it always had, but not
smokers and
sleeping on
homeless
the
people.
beach though. Not
Hell
sleeping on the
yeah.
beach. No.
Yeah.
There's always, listen, we
feel
used
like
to
it got
go
worse.
always, listen, we used to sleep on the beach. We used to go up to the beach,
Right.
with our girls and go,
They had
but
Ghost
I'm
Town
talking
in
about
Venice.
thousands.
That
Yeah,
place was,
I'm talking about
like
thousands,
everything.
though, because they were
It's
regulated.
definitely worse, but it's always been.
When
Cali's
there's-
always,
when there's-
LA's always been a place to where like people from all other states are like, if I'm homeless, I'm gonna go there because
but
the
not-
weather and the
not-
drugs.
Not like the last 3 years. Kev, it's been really bad, bro.
Yeah, it's just
Come
been
on,
a-
man.
I mean,
it's
it's
on
a-
some other shit,
it's a-
bro. You had tents. Listen. Every city.
If you look
And
at how,
I'm not exaggerating, Kev.
if you look
Listen,
at how,
and
it's,
he knows he's laughing.
if you look how it escalates the last 20, 30 years, it's like obviously
nigga,
that's
listen.
that's why we're gonna be at this
let me
point
give
that
you
we're
an
at right
idea.
now
You would
because
see
that's how it
tents
goes.
Usually tents and bums, they would go live under bridges on like train tracks. They'd be off to the side. Brother, listen, in 2 years, you can go in any city and you could just see for miles tents all on every sidewalk in every city, in every neighborhood, in everywhere, bro.
Yeah, it's just
Where
wild.
the fuck is these people coming from? It's unfucking comprehensible. What the fuck I just saw and what went on, bro. And I mean, you know how many cities is in the fucking valley? We got over like fucking easily 18 to 22 cities in the valley, bro. You mean to tell me on every sidewalk, on every major street, in every neighborhood, up under every bridge, there's blue tents? That's all you see is Tent City, blue tents? Yeah. You go down to LA, blue tents, under every freeway, blue tents? Like, what the fuck just really happened? What the fuck just really happened? This is like, I'm 41 years old. I grew up here in the valley. Like, what the fuck just happened? And people ain't even really trying to comprehend this shit.
It definitely was cold.
Like, bro, tenting. Like,
It has a lot
that
to do with
much,
the
bro?
economy too. Because a lot of homeless people are from Cali and from LA. Because
Bro, you seen some of this shit, bro? They were going, bro. Some of the fucking shit was pretty impressive. Some of the motherfucking homeless encampments I seen was pretty impressive. When you got a motherfucking, you see how long our driveway? Imagine tits go all the way up the driveway and like perfect, like box square.
Bro, these guys
like,
fucking,
nigga,
they build homes with TVs
Yeah,
and,
all kind of
electricity
shit, flat
and
screens,
AC units and
generators,
everything
80-inch
inside
flat screens.
inside the bridge structures for like the freeway overpasses
I
and
seen
like
that shit.
and like sewage systems that have like, a spot where there's not like shit and whatever, all the sewage stuff. Like they'll build homes in there. Cause I did Caltrans. I had to do like community labor, and we had to clean up like homeless encampments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of hours to do with that, and that was crazy to see the shit that they built, which is like impressive to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
extremely
Like,
impressive, yeah.
sometimes I was even jealous. I was like, damn, you guys are just rent
Yeah,
free,
you
just
living free
chilling,
rent,
like
living it up,
yeah,
doing
Nah,
dope
I don't
and
want that shit,
hanging
but it
out.
was crazy. Like, fuck.
So yeah, man, California is definitely California from what people, you hear about. That shit is true, We have a huge problem with not just homeless people, with gangs, with fraud, and mainly fraud. This is the #1 fraud capital of the world. Not death, shooting. I think Chicago owns that right now, but when it comes to fraud, California takes the cake.
It's by our like politicians
so-
too. Which is the crazy part.
There's a lot of money out here. A lot of
I
money.
think
A lot of wealth.
Atlanta and Miami be up there with the fraud shit too.
Yeah, no, Miami. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Miami for sure.
is up there. Miami's definitely up there, man. But yeah, we still love the Valley, man. This is, like I said, it's our home. It's just turning into some shit to where, you know, you just don't want to be involved with, man. You know, I don't want to be involved with none of this shit. I want no parts of California at times. But like I said, man, it's just one of those
I hate
things.
coming back here.
And you know,
Every time I come back here, bro,
I can
I'm
relate.
just I'm like,
Fuck,
there's
yeah.
nothing here that, you know, I grew up here, so it's like nothing impresses me, nothing
Well, you start
appeases to
traveling
me.
the
I like
world,
just
Kev.
like being on the beach, in the small town. I like, or no town, middle of nowhere, or in the mountain. I like just, you know.
Let me ask you something. Do you find that dangerous at times? Just
Hell
traveling?
yeah.
Because, I mean, I've known you
But
to
what
do
am I gonna
that.
do? Not do it?
I mean, but to
Like-
travel alone, man, you're like a solo dolo type guy. You like to
Yeah.
just, you know, get the fuck
Bro,
up
I
and
love
just
being
go.
with my homies, right?
Just the
but
freedom.
when I'm traveling, spending money, and I want to have a personal experience, meet new people, and new experiences in general, I do that by myself, bro, because you're dealing.
Yeah,
with,
why is that? I've been meaning to
Because
ask
you're
you about
dealing
that.
with so many different personalities and desires when you go out with other people that
Yeah.
you have to
I agree.
accommodate what
I
you want to
agree with
do
that. Yeah.
for other people, and at certain points,
I
it's
like
like
that.
it's
I
like
like that.
First of all, they might not be like privy or hip to like how you should act or behave in certain areas, so you got to deal with that shit, and then the embarrassment of sometimes things that people do, or you know, or like disrespect that they might, you know, show in certain areas, and then I've been in situations where it's like almost most of the time, bro, like every day if you're with a group of people or a friend, it's like a friend, more than one friend, like two or more people, it's like, what do you want to do? Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's look on Google and see blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, no, let's go here. No, I want to go here. No, but we should really check out there. And then you're doing this shit for 2-3 hours, bro.
Yeah,
you know what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what?
And then your
See-
day's gone, and then you go to a
with
bar
me,
like that I don't give a fuck about, or club.
I'm pretty, you know what? See, I'm pretty fucking smooth when it comes to shit like that. Like, if I go out to a new country, I'm with my boys. Like, it's like whatever you guys want to do,
Yeah.
let's fucking do it. And I'm just there. You know, I'm just there for the ride. If some shit go down, you know. But then again, like, you know, me being in California, I'm used to, like, what he just said. Like, I do that shit because I'm
I
in
also
California
like
with my
going-
friend. I'm like, yo, what do you want to do?
I also like
Ask me to
going
hang out on
like
the weekend,
I
I'm
like
gonna do
I like
exactly
Latin
what the fuck he
countries,
just
bro.
said.
I like Latin countries. Like out of everywhere that I've ever been, like I always love going because I can speak Spanish, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And then I also like to. Another reason why I like going places by myself is if I'm going to like a Latin country or whatever, Colombia, or you know, I like to blend in. You feel me? Like I like to if I'm there by myself, I blend in. You know, people
But
think
don't
I'm
you
from
that's-
there.
listen,
And then and if I don't look like I'm from there, I at
Don't
least
you
look
think
like I'm
that's
from
dangerous?
the state.
At times,
yeah, hell
like,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
listen, man,
I've been
I'm not-
I've been in situations
listen,
many times, but I've always come out on top. Like I'm straight.
Listen, I don't like using the word scared, okay? But I will say I will use the word intimidated. You know, if I go to another fucking country and I'm by myself, I'm gonna be extremely intimidated.
I think
You
it
know,
depends on
I'm
where
gonna be
I'm at.
extremely intimidated
Uh-huh.
and nervous.
I think it's exciting. I think it's fun, bro.
And see, so I think that's another part of it. I think it's that adrenaline rush when you're
Yeah, of
in
course.
another country. You don't
Of
know,
course.
it's excitement. It's that.
But human,
you know,
what I've gathered from like traveling and stuff like that, and being in you know, sketchy areas and things is humans are humans. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna catch that one that wants to test you sometimes, or whatever, has their own issues.
no matter where you go.
Oh yeah, they have their own
Yeah.
issues going on, right? I run into that more in LA.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, because in other
touch back on
yeah
that
because
subject, but
other country, other places and stuff like that, like they either know what they're about and what the fuck they can do to you, and they're not gonna waste their time trying to prove that because
Yeah.
they don't have to, right? Because we know what they're about, and or you're gonna get, you know, a little hoodlum trying to make a name for himself, and like I said, that's everywhere, so it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna stop doing what I do just because I might run into that one
Yeah.
type of person. If that happens, that happens. I've been in that situation many times, and I'm still alive and I'm still here and whatever, and I'm not gonna let that affect my life and scare me, you know?
Yeah.
There's people that I know that are just like, oh my God, what do you do? Why do you, even when I go to other countries and I meet girls and people,
Yeah, like, what?
they're like, oh, you're not from here? okay, so what are you doing here? Are you by yourself? I'm like, yeah. They're like,
Don't
what
tell
the
them you're by yourself next
fuck?
time, because that could be a
Yeah.
recipe for
I
fucking
know.
disaster.
I'm aware. I tell it to
You
the
know?
right people.
You want to
know?
say, yeah, I'm here at a
I tell-
convention with a bunch of my friends.
No, yeah, I tell it to the
They
right.
just at the
yeah.
hotel right now.
Trust me,
you know?
when I
You
see
wanna-
certain people ask me that, I'll tell them
Yeah.
that I'm walking by myself. I'm going to the
it's
store, but I'm
mainly
at
the
an
women-
Airbnb with a lot of
It's mainly
people.
the women who will set you up in the other countries. Those
Yeah,
are the
of
ones
course.
you gotta, because they're gonna make a phone call to their brother or
But they're not dumb. They
their
know
Sancho.
they know who the victims look like. You know,
Yeah.
they know what who they're gonna use as a victim, and
Yeah.
most of the time, like, I think maybe not many times where I've ever been sketched about a female, really, because
Yeah.
they see me and how I interact and talk, and I'm respectful. I don't talk to them like they're less than because I'm here or whatever, like, and I treat them like a human. So they reciprocate that energy. And like, even if I feel like they did have an idea to do something dirty, like, I feel like it just drifts off and goes away, and then they start, respecting me. I've never had a girl try to, I've never had a girl try and pull something on me ever.
The main key, I mean, because I don't travel. The main key is you don't display wealth. Like, you have money
Nah,
and stuff
fuck
like
no.
that. That's the main key, right?
Yeah, fuck
Not
no.
to-
Like, you might be able to piece it and put it together if you see me pull up in a nice rental in the city and go to a nice restaurant.
But that's
and,
the important thing.
and
when you're
or spend a
traveling
lot of
is
money
not to show your
somewhere
wealth.
where I'm in like a lower income area or whatever, and you put it together. You can do that, right? But I don't make it a thing to pull up in like Dior shoes in a fucking sometimes. I mean, like in like the
'Cause
hood or
kidnapping's
Wadi or
very
like
big
some
in
Pueblo or
South-
some shit like that.
In Spanish countries, kidnapping's very big, and
Mhm.
not just that's any country, third world
Yeah.
country, especially a third world country. It's very big. Like, I've always been scared. I said, when I travel, I'll definitely make sure that I don't display. I don't want these motherfuckers thinking I'm some
I feel like
wealthy
though, I
athlete
feel like
or
it
what the fuck
happens
you
a
doing. I'ma
lot,
tell
but
them,
they're not
"Listen,
gonna
I drive a tow truck."
they're not gonna waste their resources and time to kidnap somebody without knowing exactly
Knowing
what they
exactly.
have. So like, in order to get kidnapped, I feel like you gotta constantly return to the same place that you've been going to. They gotta build a portfolio on you to really know, like, okay, this guy, we know he has money. He comes from
And you're
here.
displaying wealth,
We
yeah.
heard this much is in his bank account or whatever it is they can gain access to. Or he brings cash, or he has cash at this place that he brings from wherever, and then they'll do it. So your job is the best. Your job is to, the best you can, remain questionable, right? Like, not go to girls or friends that you make out there and let them know what you do or how much money you have or this and that, or I got this or I got that. And plus, it doesn't even look good when you do that anyways. You look like a fool because they don't want to hear that shit. People, depending on where you're at, they don't want to, no one cares about that shit. And if they do care, it's the wrong type of person that you don't even want to be around it anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and by the way, I mean, in case you don't know, like, Kevin's my brother. Tell him where you've been so far this year. He's probably been to probably 6 countries, probably already.
6 countries?
7.
nah, not
Countries
6
already?
No. Just,
Like, I know you've been. I mean,
yeah, nah,
you were gone a
I
couple
just
weeks
just
ago and then
just
prior,
Mexico
I
and
remember last
Colombia and
well, at least 3 or 4. I know you've been out of the
a bunch of
country at least
states, but
4
a couple countries, yeah.
4
What's
times.
Where
Colombia
else did I go?
like?
Colombia's beautiful, bro. I love Colombia. The people, great, everything. Yeah, I hate the touristy areas. Like, I can't stand it because it's filled with vendors and crime, and there's crime everywhere, obviously, but it's just more of like, I go out the country and I go different places to get away from the people that are here, like here or Miami or the party or like Tulum. I've never been to Tulum. I don't give a fuck about Tulum.
Yeah.
I can go find my own deserted beach
Where is Tulum?
in
What is it?
Michoacan or somewhere else in Nayarit. I can
Mexico?
go find my own beach that has less people, that's just as pretty or more pretty, and I'm with authentic people from that area. That's why you travel. I don't travel to go place myself in a different environment to be around the same type of fucking people that I don't enjoy being around anyways, like the party clubs and
So it's super touristy into them, like
hell
very-
yeah.
Oh shit.
You look
Wait, where is that
on
located?
you look
I'm
on
sorry.
social media and you see all these Americans talking about Mexico's great. Mexico, fuck America. It's like, yeah, I feel you, right? But then you hear about where they live and they're always like Cancun or Tulum, and it's like, it's whatever.
My
Like,
uncles, they own like a house in Tulum, but I think they just Airbnb it.
yeah, I mean that's what you.
They're
Yeah,
always there, and I was like, oh, now I get why y'all lived in Mexico for so long.
yeah.
Like, so that makes
It's
sense.
a great place to have property and everything. Obviously, don't get me wrong, but not where I want to spend my time. It's beautiful, but you're just getting the whole grimy. American scene over there too, and European scene, like just not everybody, all right, but for most of the part, it's if you like clubs all the time and clubbing and seedy, opportunists and shit like that, you're gonna get that same thing in Tulum and you know.
Yeah, I mean, California, LA we have a pretty exquisite club scene, party scene, but I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. Like our club scene is like
It's
go to a
trash
club,
now,
buy a
bro.
bottle
Since
at a club,
COVID,
get a
it's
table,
like
and that's it. You're gonna get a
the club
table at
scene
a
is
club, that is it.
is trash.
You
It's
know, nobody
trash.
dances anymore in the clubs. Nobody, that freaks up on your either. Everybody gets a table. They're in their section. Everybody is in their sections now.
Only time I go to clubs and things
That's
are in
nothing
other
like it.
countries, bro, because the music's
Still
different,
party. They
right?
still party
And they
type.
dance. That's what you do is you dance. You know
You
what I'm
don't get
saying?
a table and
You
stand there with
vibe.
your phone,
You
bro.
vibe with people.
Like-
you interact. You dance. You get freaky, and there's better
People are
music.
just standing on tables.
Like
with their phone
here,
now.
like in America, it's like you got 21 Savage playing. It's like I love rap. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I don't want to hear it in a fucking club because ain't nobody dancing and everyone's just standing around like who got the biggest Moissanite chain on. You know what I'm saying? Like who got the big,
And
who
it
got
is
the
Moissanite,
most
by the way.
Dior on or whatever, and just standing there, and then the girls are there just to bypass everybody to get to who the promoter is, just to get clout, just to feed whatever prerogative they got, and nothing's genuine. There is always sometimes, but for the most part, it's trash. It's no
That is
it's
LA,
no
yeah.
good vibe. It's no good. You know what I mean? No, whatever. It's washed up. Washed the fuck up. There's some cool clubs, but I don't.
Like I said, we love LA. LA's, I'm not ever gonna shit on LA, but it's just a different LA now, man. And it's crazy because usually shit takes time to unravel and unfold. This shit was just dumped on every single fucking Angelino.
Yeah.
You know,
LA
in
is
an instant,
fucking trash right
so-
now. I hate it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I don't
trying to
feel
leave,
good
too.
saying that because I love LA.
Cause I go to college in Arizona, so that's where I think I want to live long term.
Arizona's nice. I love Arizona.
I want to.
Yeah, it's clean. Arizona's clean. I was
Yeah.
shocked at how clean their structures is. Their freeway systems are
Well, the
extremely
roads
clean
suck.
on the side of the road. They got
Yeah.
decorations and shit. The speed limit's 75 miles per hour.
It's always
Yeah.
hot.
You know, it's always hot.
I love
Yeah,
hot
it's
weather.
fucking crazy. Their gun laws, you can carry a gun, shit
Yeah.
like that. And like I said, you know what the thing is about LA, and that's another thing. I used to love going out. It's summer. You go, now it's fucking. I'm nervous to fucking go out with my daughter. Because like I said, I don't want to shoot. I carry a gun everywhere I go. I don't want to shoot somebody in front of my daughter. That's the last thing I want to do, man. And these motherfuckers, I'll never pull a gun unless a motherfucker got a gun. I'm not one of those type of people that, pull a fucking gun,
Yeah.
But a lot of people, like I said, a lot of dudes are on drugs right now. They're on dope, and I'm always nervous to go out with my daughter. I live in a decent neighborhood, but it's just like I said, you're constantly
The
on edge when you
fentanyl,
go
bro.
out.
That shit crazy, man.
What?
I just you mentioned drugs, and I just thinking about fentanyl and shit. And ever since that shit came out, it's just
Yeah,
wild,
and that's
bro.
that's
That
another
shit
thing.
is just wild,
Listen,
bro.
I
People
mean,
are just
listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Listen, and I used to dig those. Hey, and I'm
like
glad you
heroin
brought
was
that
one
up.
thing, bro. Now the
Listen,
Fetty got people like this.
Hey,
for 5 hours,
I'm glad you brought this up because here's the fucking crazy thing about this fentanyl shit, right? So when fentanyl just fucking hit the scene, right? I was doing black tar, right? Everybody and their mama was horrified of fucking fentanyl. Oh my God, fentanyl. Does it have fentanyl? No, this is fentanyl. Test it for fentanyl.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, people left heroin and are doing fentanyl to where they became so addicted to heroin, and fentanyl is so strong, and they were lacing the heroin with fentanyl, and a lot of people didn't know it.
Well, now you
that
can't
they become
even.
addicted.
Now you
they
gotta.
can't
Now
get
you
high.
gotta find somebody
With fentanyl.
like to
To
find.
get high.
No. To find real heroin. Like
Heroin,
that,
yeah.
That's actual just pure
Black tar
heroin, right?
Yeah.
And people are now getting their introduction to opiates from just straight out
Fentanyl.
the door fentanyl. Starting with
Which
the
is
perks.
insane.
They make the fake M30 perks into like they have like these
Yeah.
the Roxys or whatever that are 30s that had the M on them and stuff, and now they are all fentanyl pills that are pressed and.
So it's just pure fentanyl.
Oh yeah, it's
Pure
pure fentanyl.
And
So
that's the
you
only
do
thing
like
they
one.
want. That's the
you
one.
take
Everybody
like
was scared of fentanyl. Now it's like, listen, I can only do fentanyl.
you
Now
take.
they're mixing it
you
with
take,
xylazine.
You take like a tenth of a pill of that pill, and like you feel like okay, you take like a tenth of that pill or something like that. It's like the same as doing a whole normal one that's from like an actual brand. You know what I'm saying? That's not in terms of how much it fucks you up, right? Like you do half that pill or whatever, and you've never done opiates, you'd be dead. If
You're
you did
done.
half of
You're
the
done.
real pill, like the real from the pharmacy or whatever,
Yeah,
you'd be
you're
straight.
goner.
No, you'd be straight if it's the real one.
You know, it's sad because in my city, right here in Winnetka, right up the street from where I stay in Tarzana, 2 twin boys, 3-year-olds, they died last weekend.
Oh, damn.
Their mother, she's being charged right now for murder, the first time ever
That's
of
crazy.
their case. 3-year-old twin boys died. Josiah James, and I remember it because that was my boxing partner, my sparring partner for the Golden Gloves at Outlaws Boxing Gym. His name was Josiah James, so when I heard that name, the baby's name,
Yeah.
one of the twins, 3-year-old, little black kids, 3-year-old, died from right here in Winnetka.
Was it
OD.
just because like their parents or
the
their
mother's
mom had
being
it?
charged with their deaths?
Wow.
They don't know how. They're not revealing if the mother was using, if she was selling, how the kids got in contact with the fentanyl. But yeah, they ingested it and they're both dead. So it's the first time they said this is the first of its kind. 3-year-olds dying like this. So yeah, it's a huge major problem in our state, in our city, with this fentanyl, and it started here.
Because that's even like what my dad's. Because my dad was addicted to. He for the longest time, I think he was addicted to meth and PCP.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, that's a sick combo right there. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
PCP. Yeah, I never indulged
Fuck.
in that, but I was addicted to crystal meth and black tar heroin and popping pills. So
But he was saying like now like. It's hard to experiment with drugs now because now like you don't
because
know
one hit can kill you.
what anything
That's
is.
it. My mom always kept us away from drugs because she said, you know what, you can go out and experiment, and that your first hit, and that'll be your last. And that always scared us straight to not.
That shit didn't really apply that well back in the day because it happened, but it didn't happen that much. Now it's like
No,
that
I'm
shit
not
is.
talking about with no. Even back in the day, it was very serious. I'm not talking about with fentanyl.
I wasn't.
Just-
I know. I
just
wasn't.
laced
I wasn't
drugs.
either.
People selling you fake. My
Yeah.
mom used to always tell me about laced drugs. People selling.
I'm saying
you fake
that
shit.
back then you could just be like shine that off and be like, that rarely happens because it did rarely happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like the chances of that are just blown out way higher. Like just, you know what I'm saying? Just way fucking higher to get.
Yeah, you could take one hit and experiment.
And the drugs don't come like that. They don't send them over here mixed with fentanyl. No one over there is doing that to bring here. It happens here. Like you get the clean shit, it comes here, people cut it, or you get a user that likes fentanyl to mix his shit with whatever, and it ends up getting
Yeah, they
dispersed
press
at a
it.
party or somewhere, and someone gets overdoses or they get fucked with that.
Cause like, what is it? What's so like special? Like, what are the effects of it that makes people get hooked on it so much?
It's a drug. It alters the mind. A drug is.
What are you talking
anything
about,
that
fentanyl?
alters the
Yeah.
human.
It's
fentanyl.
it's an
I'm talking about
opiate.
Fentanyl.
It's
Yeah,
a- it's a-
it's a drug.
it's a
You gotta
opiate.
remember, people do
Yeah.
drugs to get high. People sniff paint to get high. They'll do anything to get high. Anytime you alter the human, it's.
Fentanyl is different. Fentanyl is way different than all that shit. It's way
I put
different.
drugs in all the
You
category.
physically get
Alcohol,
addicted
drugs.
to that.
Humans
Like you need it, heroin, like you think, yeah, you get sick when you don't have it. You feel like you have a flu and a fucking food poisoning, all that mixed together, cramps, all that stuff when you don't have it. And then think about fentanyl. It's that times like 20 when you're sick, and you get sicker quicker, and it doesn't last as long. And when you are high, it's just like disgusting. You're so high that you're not even there. Like you're just
You're
just out. That shit is trash. All that stuff's trash. All that shit's disgusting.
Yep. And that's why I have 4 years sober, actually,
Great.
which is the crazy thing. Today,
Wow, congratulations.
today I have 4 years sober today. So 4 years ago, I checked out of Veritas, July 23rd, 4 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, my cousin came and he got me in from my backyard, and I remember it was around 4th of July was coming up, and it was Father's Day. So
Mhm.
Father's Day, I decided to be a father again and stop using. And so Father's Day, I checked in the rehab, and I left out July 23rd, which I got to go tell Kevin and Travis about this. I forgot today,
Yeah.
which they know because they're the ones who
It's all meant to be.
helped me through this situation.
Yeah.
So with that being said, yeah, it's like full circle. It's crazy we're bringing that up, and then I forgot today is my anniversary of 4 years sober. So
Congrats.
yeah, man. So with that being said, yeah, these drugs really tore our community up, and I really want to do my part and help. As far as help out with um, rehabilitation centers and going and telling my story. I believe I have a really interesting story about how I got on drugs and how I got off them, and my whole journey. And I want people to hear it, man, and the things that I was able to accomplish during that time, and things that I seen. I seen a lot of people die. I have a lot of crazy stories from rehabs. You know, um, just very, very insightful information that people, they need to know about what just happened in these last 5 years. This is like a whole nother beast, that and it started right here. You got to understand, it comes up through Mexico from China. They get the the cartels get it from China. The chemicals they make it in Mexico. It comes up to California. So California was the first state to get hit with this fentanyl, you know,
Wow.
crisis. So and I went right through it. I watched it all happen, and at that time I was using. This was right when it started. People started using black tar, what they call huff, and then all of a sudden, within that year I was using it, all of a sudden this fentanyl just popped on the scene.
Yeah.
It spread like a wildfire. So yeah, man, I'm blessed. And now, as I'm watching it's all unfold. 4 years ago, everybody was horrified of fentanyl. Now, 4 years later, all those people that were horrified of fentanyl, that's the only thing they can do, is fentanyl. That's the only thing they seek and they request is fentanyl. So yeah, it's you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a blessing to be able to overcome situations like that. Because this drug has grabbed a lot of people's lives, man. And,
And like, what's the come off? Because I hear like from so many people, like even like
well,
my
that's what a lot
dad.
of people are scared of. That's what I was scared of. Like Kev was telling you, a lot of people are scared to kick.
Yeah.
So what they do is they get on methadone, to try to wean off of it, and the methadone actually gets them even more addicted.
Really.
Yeah, because it's a synthetic opioid,
Yeah, people take
right?
Suboxone more. Methadone, yeah, methadone's like a little.
Right. I never used methadone, but I heard stories that it's even harder to come off methadone.
So you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
Kick
really.
yeah,
even
yeah.
harder.
Methadone
That's
is
what's
way hard.
weird.
And
From what I
Suboxone, that
heard,
shit's
I
hard to
mean,
get
from
off
what I
too.
heard, because I was thinking about getting on methadone because I was so horrified, just like every other heroin user is horrified to kick.
That's just,
Okay,
yeah.
because
That's
like
just
he was
heroin in a
explaining,
pill. Like you're just doing the same
like you do
shit.
not want to kick. Like he was saying, like it is the worst fucking thing to go through, and it scares the shit out of you. You're sick, dude. It's the worst sickness, illness you can possibly experience, from throwing up to fucking diarrhea to, I mean, you just name it, cold sweats. I mean, just the worst stomach pain, cramping, just, I mean, and all hit you like a fucking ton of bricks all in an instant. Imagine you're okay one day and then all of a sudden what I just described hit you within a few hours, like 12 hours of not using dope, if you're that, depending on your level of addiction. So yeah, a lot of people would want to get off, and I remember going through, my situation. That was not only my issue, but it was a huge issue, about people not wanting to kick, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're throwing up constantly, going through cold sweats, stomach cramping,
So you can't really
diarrhea.
quit like cold turkey with like these drugs, can you?
I did.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
not well. I won't say I did. You want to go into rehab and they kind of wean you off. Like they weaned me off for like exactly 5 days. And then after the 5 days, they stopped giving me dope. So now you're weak, you're tired. And then your appetite starts to slowly increase, and then you focus on eating. At least for me, this is what my processes was. So. Uh, So yeah, I think that's the best thing to do if you can and if you have the resources is to go into a rehabilitation and do it the safe, correct way. You know, because a lot of things can happen during the kick. I've seen it. You know, I've seen people in jails kick shit, go into convulsions, fall, hit their head, die. A lot of shit. You know. So yeah.
And you said earlier, this came back to my head. You don't travel. Like, why don't you?
It's not
Travel.
that I don't travel. It's just that I'm gonna start traveling more. My whole situation is I'm not able to travel. You know, I was unfortunately California state property. You know, for a while. You know, and it kind of put limitations on my traveling, meaning of being on parole, being on probation. So that limited my travels a lot in the past few years. But, you know, I mean, I've been places, you know, and I don't mind traveling. I really don't like air fucking planes, you know. So I mean, it's just one of those situations to where I just got to get used to the whole airplane situation. But outside of that, yeah, man, I actually like to travel. You know, it's just, you know, it's just one of those situations to where it has to be the opportunity, you know, right opportunity and shit like that for me to travel. I don't have the freedoms like and the luxury like Kev and my cousin and you know Hawaiian Kev to just get up and just say, hey, I'm a fucking, you know. Hopefully, pretty soon I will have that, you know, to just get up and go, you know, and not just that. Like I have, you know, my daughter, and it's just like, you know, baby mama issues, and you can't just go to, you know, when you're in a relationship, you just can't up and go, you know, unless they're with you, you know, because that also might cause a little bit of, you know, drama in the situation. As you get older, you'll understand, you know, relationships and the dynamics of a, you know, a
That's what I'm
relationship.
scared of. I'm scared. I've never had like a girlfriend, none of that. Like I've only like dated a few girls, but like after like even like seeing like those little experiences, I'm like scared to even like get into that.
Well, you gotta. I mean, you gotta create those experiences, right? I mean, that's our objective in life, right? Is to, you know, create a certain existence that we perceive ideal, right? So when you see other relationships and stuff like that, I mean, you take bits and pieces from, you know, things in life and you disregard, you know, ones that you feel are unnecessary and it's not going to suit you, and then you take the ones that you feel are going to be, you know, beneficial towards your, you know, your path, your journey. So that's what life's about, man. You know, definitely about experiencing and learning and mainly gratitude, being grateful. A lot of people are fucking ungrateful, you know. A lot of people didn't wake up this morning. You know, we were the fortunate ones to actually fucking wake up and be here today. So what are you gonna do with your day? Hey, Kevin, my man Kevin over there say, hey, I might just get the fuck up and hey, go visit another country by myself and just, you know, go see what life has in store. And that's the beauty of life. If you can do that, that's the ideal life to have, to just get up and say, hey, you know what, I want to go here. And you have the monies to do so, and you have the bank account and say, hey, you know
I
what, I
love
want to
going.
go.
I just
Because you can't, there's no
It's like
experience.
spontaneity.
There's nothing else
Spontaneity?
better.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There's nothing else better than to travel in the world. My parents are extremely well traveled, you know?
Yeah.
And if you look at every single philosopher, they've always been well traveled, you know? Through our history, through our fucking, you know, throughout our times, man, you know?
Yeah, traveling spontaneously backfired on me last time that I
heard.
went. That didn't backfire on me.
I heard.
It was an experience though. Like I went to Bogota.
Bogota.
I've never been that part.
The wrong Bogota,
I went,
by the way.
What do you mean?
You went to the wrong Bogota.
What's the right one?
From the story I got.
No, I went to the right one.
Oh,
What do
you went
mean?
to the right one? I thought Travis told me you were in
It's
the
just
wrong Bogota and the
Like
wrong.
the wrong part.
Oh no. No.
The chick called you and was like, "You're in Bogota." What? Like, I'm in Bogota. Oh, okay. My bad. Maybe I shouldn't be saying shit. Hey, is this thing following? No, it's not on the follow.
No, I went to. I didn't go to the wrong, but it was the wrong city. I wasn't really paying attention to what my conversations I was
But
having with
something,
people.
I
You know
got
what I
bits and
mean?
pieces
I
of
was just like having and I was like, fuck, I'm on the wrong. There's like cities that are named the same, and I was like, yeah, bro, I'm far from there. But anyways, yeah, I went to Bogota. I'd never been. I wanted to check it out. Didn't know. I didn't do any research. None of that shit. It's Colombia, so I assumed that it was hot, tropical, right? Cold as shit, as fuck, bro. Like I want to try. I do not want to travel anywhere
It's-
purposely that is cold, unless I'm snowboarding or like doing something like that.
Oh man, that's
And
the
it's a
worst.
city, right? So it's cold city, which I do not fuck with. People are great. Like obviously, whatever it's Colombia, cool little, you know, towns and nice parts and beautiful city. Super developed, like architecturally in a way. Like it's a lot of new architecture, a lot of nice building. But the weird part is like I just felt like I was in a dystopian. It was super weird. Like I thought LA, it was kind of like LA, bro. It was like
Really?
LA with New York, but less people outside. Outside, like there's like little neighborhoods where everyone's out all day,
And it's cleaner.
party. Fuck no.
No,
Really?
hell no.
No.
Like I'm talking about like the
Fuck no.
what's it called? Like the atmosphere, like the air.
No.
No,
Really?
No. Bogota is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Bogota. Yeah.
So their pollution is like LA or just even maybe even worse,
Really?
dirtier than
Damn.
LA. They got a bunch of homeless people like LA. More controlled though. More controlled. They have like weird refugee camps where like the indigenous people from Colombia are all living, which I didn't understand. It was like a beautiful neighborhood in the city with all the business, the buildings and everything like that, businesses and stuff. And then there's like a park that's beautiful, but then it's just all tents. The tents all look alike. There's like 100 at least tents, and it's just indigenous families.
Wow.
You know, just staying in there was weird. But yeah, like Bogota was just. It was okay. It wasn't tropical. It wasn't hot. It wasn't. It was. There's a lot of beautiful parts to it too that I saw, but it's super fucking dangerous. I saw someone get slashed in the face or like already like in traffic with a knife over like a altercation, whatever. I kind of got that on film. But so they tried to rob me. Like I never been tested like robbed. Like maybe in Cartagena one time they tried to rob me and we came to like an agreement on something, but. Over there, I had just stepped out of I was in a really like dangerous part, I guess. But like Santa Fe is like it's like a little neighborhood, and staying at an Airbnb, and I step outside. I'm on my phone talking to somebody, not even paying attention to really what's going on around me, right? I'm crossing a freeway overpass, like a bridge, and there's a lot of people around, walking around, coming off of work and stuff. Night just hit, and there's military in front of the banks, like 100 yards in front of me, groups of people and families walking, waiting for the bus. But on this bridge itself, there was nobody at all, right? So I'm walking, I'm on my phone, get off the phone, still holding the phone in my hand, walking. I see I hear two people come up behind me on bikes, and you know they look like hoodlums, whatever. They look like me, right? And then there's one person in front of me.
No, these aren't normal bikes. They're moped bikes or
No, bicycle.
bicycles.
So they go on the bridge with me, and one goes in front of me and is riding, and he like kind of looks back like this to, I guess, like check me out and see where his buddy's at, and his buddy stayed behind me. So that's what caught me on alert is when they're riding. If you're riding your bikes with your partner, like you go past somebody, right? You go together, and they made it a point to like he went in front of me, and then his homie stayed behind me, and I'm like, fuck, here we go. So I have nowhere to go because I'm like on the middle of like a freeway overpass bridge with like a 50-foot drop onto the freeway, small railing, like some railings, and then it's like this wide. Well, I put my phone in my pocket right away and put my hand like on my bag and just like brace myself, like getting ready. And then the other guy comes up in front of me, too, and then boom, they pivot their bike sideways and block me on the bridge. And I just didn't even like, I'm like, try to like juke them and like went around, and then they moved their bike even more, and then they're like, he's like, no, right? What happened? Then the other guy grabbed me and like held me against like I'm trying to get around the bike, and one of the guys was like, he's like, no te mueves, and then the other guy just pushed me against the railing like this, and held me like this, and they didn't even say anything. And the other guy reached in this shit like that, and while the other guy grabbed me, and my reaction was just to push him as hard as I could off of me, right? Cause like I'm like fuck, bro, I'm on the railing like this, and I felt like he was gonna do something like push me, and I saw the other guy reaching in his shit, so I just broke his grasp and just pushed him as hard as I could, and he fell like over his bike. And then I was on flip flops, bro. I was on Gucci slides, and I fucking like an idiot, bro. I don't know why, but I just started running like as fast as I could. It's a 50-yard dash, boom, like real quick. And next thing I hear, he's like, déjalo, and like they tell me, leave him. And I went right to like there's a bank with like military in the front. So as I'm running, like I'm like thinking, I'm like fuck.
They ain't gonna save you.
I'm like fuck, bro. No, hell yeah, they would. They'll shoot those motherfuckers. Yeah, hell yeah. I fucking start running, and I'm like fuck. They got bikes, bro. They're probably right behind me. And I turn around, and they just fucking picked their bikes up and just went the other way, right? And I just started laughing. I was like, ha ha. I felt good, because I had fucking my cards, I had my phone. Yeah. Fucking, that's the first thing I thought when he grabbed me. I'm like, fuck, bro, what am I gonna do with no phone here right now? I need my phone. And then after that happened, I remember crossing the bridge again, and I'm like, I'm gonna be dumb as fuck if I do this again. But I was like, fuck it, I crossed it again, right? And
you should have two phones. One for when you go in the country and leave one at home, and then the one that
you
take to the country just in case.
Yeah, I do.
I do. Phone. I never thought about that. That's the last thing you want to get because I've seen a lot of shit on YouTube. A lot of people get their cell phones stolen in other countries.
But after that,
after that,
I was tripping on my phone being gone, and my service cuts out, bro. Like, dude, right at like 15 minutes after that situation, I'm like, oh, if I'm not gonna have a phone, how am I gonna contact people or get around or whatever, and Google or GPS, and then after that, then Verizon's like, oh, we have international outage, blah blah. I'm like, man, what the fuck? So I didn't have a working phone for like 3 days, and I'm just like, couldn't get Ubers, so I was walking home late at night from certain areas, and that shit was sketchy as fuck. So, and then people started catching on that like they see me in the neighborhoods and just say, hey, what's up, and talk to me, try to hang out with me, and then they knew I was alone, and then I was like, okay, I shouldn't be here for more than like a few more days, and I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I just left because after that situation, I was like, bro, that was real close. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do. I know what they were trying to do. I don't know how it could have ended up. But if I hung around, I wasn't trying to hang around, Yeah. So that was like my first physical kind of like real experience like that. And it was right after I got off the phone with all of them too, like talking about what I'm seeing and like how the place is, and they're like, bro, be careful, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good, and then boom, an hour later this shit happens. It was so bad.
Yeah.
When was this? Like a few months ago? Or?
A few weeks ago.
It's like 2 years. This was just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get this, man. I got a story to tell about LA, man. Like, now this is, a different country that he's describing, but just to give you an idea, I mean, shit can go down anytime in LA, and this is actually, the story I'm about to tell you is actually a story when I was getting high. And so I still stay in Tarzana, but at the time, Encino, it's pretty much Encino, Tarzana area. And at the time, I was staying on Burbank and Reseda area. And my boy, he has a liquor store.
Yeah.
My boy Mo, very popular liquor store.
I feel like I've heard of that before. Yeah, Mo's Liquor.
Yeah, it's a liquor store on Reseda and Burbank, right? So I lived exactly 5 buildings down on the left-hand side, and one morning I was kicking dope, right? And my baby mama, I would never go around my house whenever I was getting high because of my daughter. But this one in particular time, I had spent the night, and because of that, like, I didn't do drugs in the house.
Yeah.
Right? So I had a house. My best friend, who I started doing heroin with, has a house right up the street, a 4-bedroom house that is just me and him. So we had a pretty dope house, So although I was getting high, I wasn't like, some homeless crazy ass. Like, we had a dope ass house spot, shit like that. So anyway, I had spent the night at my baby's mama's house, and I was starting to kick, right? So as I'm, starting to kick, I'm telling her like I need to go, I need to do drugs. I need to. And so she said, okay, So she knows what that means. That means drop me off at Fred's house, my boy Freddie. So as we're driving, right, we pull into the corner store, which is about six buildings down on our side to the 7-Eleven, right? Now the liquor store is directly across the street from the 7-Eleven next to the donut shop, right? So I go into the donut shop, and I go into the 7-Eleven, and the whole fucking front door of the 7-Eleven window is broke out, right? So I'm talking to the 7-Eleven dude. They got a board up there, and I'm asking him what happened. He said some people came in the night before, right, and did a beer run. And on the way out, the dude tried to block the door, and they ran into the door and broke the fucking door, shattered the glass. Now, this was the night before. I said, oh, shit, So I go, and I get a pack of cigarettes from 7-Eleven. That's what I had my girl give me a pack of cigarettes. Now, as I'm coming out of the store, I look across the street, and I see this dude named Jason, very well-known dude. He's from where is it? He's a blood dude from Fruittown Pie.
I got scared. My dad's name is Jason.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say my dad.
No. This is a gang member. This is a gang dude. This dude's very well known. His name's Jason in the Valley. He's from I just said it, Fruittown Pyru.
Yeah.
Right. This dude did about 14 years.
Yeah.
Right. Big swole dude, bald-headed swole dude. Right. So I see him across the street, and he lives next door to me in my building, but he hangs out at the liquor store all the time. He's an alcoholic and shit. He be sitting over there smoking blunts, chilling in the parking lot. So I tell my baby mama, it's okay, go home. I'll have Jason drop me off right up the street at Fred's house, right? So I go over there, and I see Jason, and my baby mama, she leaves at this point. So I'm talking to Jason, and he hangs out with this fat kid. And he happened to be actually from Ohio. And this dude's young. Jason's about my age. This dude's about maybe your age. He's 20, 22 maybe. This kid lives in his apartment. So I always see him together, So they're in front of the liquor store. I walk across the street and shit. And this nigga tells me this similar story. He goes, bro, and he has his door open, right? His door is open. He's sitting in the parking lot, chilling in the car, rolling a blunt. So at the time, I'm kicking dope. So I sit down in his car, right? In his passenger seat. And we listen to music, he rolling a blunt, and I'm asking him and telling him, yo, can you take me over here at this point? He goes, yeah, sure, I'll drop you off. So he gets to start telling me a story, what happened last night, right? He tells me that two white dudes, Peckerwoods, came into the store, right? And he had knocked one of these dudes out for trying to steal 240s from my homie Mo. And the reason why he felt that this dude was going to steal these 240s is because the dude comes into the fucking liquor store, walks to the fucking back, grabs 240s out of the fucking freezer, right? Now you got 4 to 5 lanes.
Yeah.
The third lane is the liquor counter where you could walk in. You could walk into even the second one and walk to the counter. He didn't walk to any of those lanes. He walked to the outside lane that lines up with the door, okay? The door out.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there hanging out, rolling a blunt, chilling the night before. And Jason describes this to me, right? And he tells me, now keep in mind, somebody just did a beer run last night as well across the street at 7-Eleven, but these were kids. So Jason, right, is across the street at the time. He sees all this shit. He tells me that there was a beer run, and I think he was just saying this to justify what he did. And not when I started thinking about it after the fact, which the story I'm gonna tell you, you'll understand why.
Yeah.
So he describes that the guy takes the far lane out to the fucking door, out to the fucking parking lot. So he sees this, and he interacts, and he stops the dude right at the door. And when he stops him, he just KOs the dude. Bam. And the dude falls on him. The beers drop from what he described. Beers drop, bam, he grabs the dude and swings him out the door. That's that. That's the story he gave me. Listen, what I'm about to tell you is the honest to God truth. I couldn't make this shit up and how dangerous California is, okay? 5 minutes later, we're sitting here, forget about everything, right? This is what happens. A motherfucker runs up with a full-on hoodie on, full-on sweater, runs up to the driver door. Now keep in mind, both of the doors are open. We're sitting in the parking lot, music playing. He's rolling a blunt. He just finished telling me his story 5 minutes prior, right? Motherfucker runs up on his side with a motherfucking HK, fully automatic HK. His exact words were, and we got this on video, by the way. This shit was all over the fucking news.
Yeah.
Okay? Because what I'm about to tell you, you're going to be like, oh, shit.
Fully automatic HK.
Huh?
Like a switch? We got a switch on it?
Bro, so he runs up on Jason, passenger side, full mask on, hoodie on, everything, broad daylight. This is 11 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
Runs up on Jason, his exact words, motherfucker, you remember me from last night.
Damn.
Listen, everything slowed the fuck down in my brain. You hear me? I look at Jason. I look at the barrel. It's pointing in the car, facing me, us. I don't even think he really know that a nigga sitting in the front seat. He's just dialed in on Jason, right? I look at Jason and I say my exact words were, grab the motherfucking, came out slow, gun. He went like this. He's looking at the gun. He stops for another 30 seconds, and this motherfucker is doing this. He's just shaking the gun. And I'm like, why is this motherfucker shaking the gun? He's not speaking. He went up on us saying, you remember me from last night, motherfucker? Doing this. I grabbed, listen, this is on camera. I can't make it up. I will prove this shit to you. I couldn't make this shit up if I wanted to. He's doing this, shaking the gun. I say, grab the gun to Jason. He finally grabs the fucking gun. He locks onto the gun. I go to fucking reach. I say, no, fuck this. I said, hold on to the gun, Jason. So I get out, right? While he's fighting with the gun. By the time I get around to the fucking back of the car, this motherfucker is backing up off of the driver seat. So I know that Jason got the gun now. You understand? Because by the time I made it to the back, he's off the fucking car. He done got the gun. Bro, listen, the fat nigga that he hang out with, the nigga, he freezes. A woman, right, from the bakery, Russian woman, don't speak no fucking English. She comes out the fucking shop immediately because the moment I lock this motherfucker, listen, boom, I hit this motherfucker, he falls to the ground. I start hitting him in the motherfucking ribs, giving everything I got. Keep in mind, I am kicking dope. I have no energy, okay? I'm kicking dope. I'm hitting this motherfucker with everything I got, everything I got. The lady comes, runs out, and she's begging me, please, no, stop. So I grab this motherfucker, and I'm choking him. I'm choking him with everything I got. Do you know what this bitch-ass motherfucker, Jason, who's a gangster, okay, from fucking, whatever, fucking
Fruittown, yeah.
Piru, okay, very well-known nigga. Okay, he put this shit all in the video. It's all over his social media. It's all over social media. I'm gonna bring the video up. It's fucking nuts, okay? I'm choking this nigga like this. I said, you tried to take us away from our fucking family. Do you know what this bitch ass nigga is telling me? No, Vel, let him go. Let him go. The lady is begging me, let him go. I said, he just tried to fucking kill us. I said, call the fucking police, call the police. This bitch is shaking her head. No. I'm like, he just tried to kill us. I said, look at his face. Look at his face. Now, she could clearly see his face. And then she kicked in, was like, oh, shit, why does this guy have a mask on? Why does he have a fucking hoodie on? Come to find out, the motherfucker had a vest on. Get this, after everything was said and done, we ripped the gun from this motherfucker. I choked this motherfucker out. This nigga begs me to let this motherfucker go. I looked at him and said, he just tried to take us from our fucking kids. And I finally just let this motherfucker go. We jump in the car. I'm kicking dope. We jump in the car. Do you know this motherfucker was more concerned about keeping that gun and not coming like to, not, don't get me wrong, I'm not about talking to police, none of that.
but he wanted to hurry up and get out of the motherfucking situation just to keep the gun. This nigga just tried to fucking assassinate us in broad fucking daylight at 11 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. Get this. Police show up. The bitch called the police. He can't run nowhere.
Yeah.
They catch the motherfucker. They raid this motherfucker. I'm gonna show you the news report. They found 166 guns they raided from this motherfucker's house. He was from Florida and a bunch of marijuana. Wasn't supposed to be having no motherfucking guns at all. This fucking white boy.
He's a white.
Racist ass fucking yes. Racist ass Peckerwood white dude. Bro, listen, from Florida, young nigga. They found 166 guns. He was living 4 apartment buildings down. Listen, the feds came out and were bringing these military carts out of fucking guns, rifle, and ammunition. Listen to me when I say, this motherfucker, you understand, was from Florida. He was literally willing to assassinate us in broad fucking daylight. So we go and get the video, right? Do you know what the fuck I see on the video? So sure enough, right? And I'm not paying attention. I'm sitting in the fucking front seat. Do you know this motherfucker was so brazen? It was a man, his wife, and their 2 kids, right? Walking on the sidewalk. This nigga bucked the Mel, ran past the Mel, boom, running down the sidewalk to run up on our vehicle. When we seen the shit, look, the Mel went like this and told his wife to run, and they fucking literally, I didn't see any of this. After we watched the video, I was like, oh shit. He ran past. A man and his woman bumped the dude's shoulder trying to get around the motherfucker to run up on our car with a full mask, and this dude seen this. So get this. We go to my boy Freed's house, right? Now, on the way there, it's only a couple blocks. I grabbed the gun out the front seat. Jason's asking me, what kind of gun is it? We're like fucking tripping out. I grabbed the gun, I look in the barrel, look, I swear to God on everything I fucking love. Look, the shit is this big. Look, Kev, you see this shit? I look down the barrel's this big. I said, this is a fucking BB gun. This is a fucking pellet gun. Like, oh shit, like, come to find out it wasn't, but I thought it was like a replica, right? I hit that motherfucking button. It was a motherfucking HK fully automatic 30-round clip 22. I didn't even know they make HK 22s. Do you know why he fucking couldn't light up off on us? Because the motherfucker loaded, we counted the fucking bullets. He loaded 31 bullets into the shit, and when you do that, there was a round stuck in the motherfucking
Clip.
No, not in the clip, in the fucking disengagement where the round ejects, okay? In the slide. But a rifle, it's not called a slide, it's called something else. So the round was fucking jammed in there. So when he was doing this, he was squeezing and it's not going the fuck off. That's a fully automatic. That shit would have went, rah! Now keep in mind, he runs up on the driver, I'm sitting in the passenger, I'm looking at this fucking barrel. If he would have let the fuck off, nigga, the last thing I ever, and I've always told anybody, shoot me with a 9, shoot me with a 4.5, a 357. Do not shoot me with a fucking bad. 22. Because the doctors ain't gonna save your ass. Once that shit gets start bouncing off and tearing up organs and putting holes all in your fucking intestines, in your kidneys, in your liver, bouncing around in your ribs and shit, don't shoot me with a 22. Mine's gonna go right through you. You know, it's gonna put a hole in you. They're gonna know where to sew. It's gonna be minimal damage. But when they gotta zipper your ass and go in there and start sewing shit up and bunch of little holes because that 22 then hit the rib cage and then came out. I know niggas that got hit with 22s and 25s, like nigga in their ass and came out through their rib, got shot in their rib, came out through their ass cheek type shit, bro. You don't want to get hit with one of those. So yeah, we take it to my boy's house, Freed, and we, you know, examine this shit, and it was a HK-22. It was jammed, you know. And that was my second attempt, man. Attempt on my life, man. Yeah. This is in broad daylight, some shit. And just to give you an idea, this shit didn't have nothing to do with me. I've never met this fucking man, who, you know. I didn't knock him out, nothing. You could just be at the wrong place at the wrong fucking time. By the grace of my higher power, that motherfucker's shell jammed in that goddamn clip. Do you understand? That shell jammed in that fucking clip. Because I guarantee you, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm not going to be here. I could have survived the shot, but like I said, man, it just wasn't my time, man. And he was willing to do that shit in broad daylight in front of fucking family, everything. Ran right past the family, damn near chipped the guy on his fucking shoulder just to get around. And the motherfucker had a full-on everything, full-on black sweater, hood on, had a fucking bulletproof vest, mask, full on 22 HK, you know. And like I said, bro, that shit was all over the news. I'll never forget that, man, you know. But yeah, just to give you an idea how like shit can just go down at any given moment, you know. And I have another similar story at a gas station, which I'm not gonna get into that one, but yeah, man, I almost lost my life at a gas station too, from a nigga from Pacoima Crazy Boys, boxer from Pacoima Crazy Boys, almost
And you
fucking
used
smoked
to
my ass.
you used to box too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What weight? What class did you fight in?
I used to fight super heavyweight. I won the 29 Palms has the world tournament every year, which is a very famous world tournament for the Golden Gloves. It's the World Golden Gloves, which is at 29 Palms. Okay, so I won that in 2005. Then I got invited to go to the Jerry Moore Diamond Belt tournament, which is the Golden Gloves of Southern California, which was at Victory Park out of Pasadena. The Jerry Moore Diamond Belt tournament, which is the biggest amateur boxing tournament.
Yep.
So I won that. So that was the California State championship for the Golden Gloves in 2005. And after that, I just stopped boxing. My story is pretty unique with the boxing world. Like I had came in to the boxing world, but my father had boxed. But I came into the boxing world with only 4 months of training right when I got out of jail. I got sentenced to 3 years and I had got out of jail. And I was just like training in jail, just doing push-ups, mainly training my body and shit. And so when I got out of jail, that's what I wanted to do, box. So I went straight to Outlaws Boxing Gym right here, actually in the same parking lot where I almost died, okay, on Burbank and Reseda, very famous Outlaws Boxing Gym with Buddy Be Real. Brian McKnight, the singer, was my head coach, along with Buddy Be Real and Sugar Shane Mosley. So those were my coaches, and I trained at the Sugar Shack in Pasadena. So for the Jerry Moore Diamond Belt tournament, I came out with Brian McKnight and Sugar Shane Mosley. So I won that tournament with them, with the help of them. They were my head coaches along with Buddy Be Real. So after that, like I said, my story is pretty unique. I stopped boxing. I started boxing, never boxed, never got into amateur boxing. I started boxing almost 6 months prior, 5 months prior, never boxed. And immediately my coaches were like, bro, you don't need to go on for 6-7 years. You got what it takes right now as a heavyweight. So, and I was nervous, my mother was, and my friends were like, bro, don't let these people, just throw you in the ring thinking, you're a big, strong guy, and don't let them just throw you in the ring to, get beat up on, and, like slowly take your time to acquire the certain skills you need to get in the ring. Just don't get in there because they feel you're ready. Make sure you're ready. So that was a very important thing, because my mom, my dad boxed for 15 years professionally, never lost a fight. You go on his Facebook, that's his picture of him and his last bout. So so my mom knows the whole boxing game. It was just like, just make sure you're ready. So I just went ahead and jumped in these tournaments, with, like I said, 5 years of experience. These other people had 6-7 years of experience. Golden Gloves is the last step that you go before you turn pro. Okay. I just jumped into Golden Gloves, which was phenomenal to a lot of people, and won the won. And at that point, I was like, boxing is stupid. Like, if I can get into Golden Gloves, because every professional fighter will tell you that Golden Gloves and amateur boxing is extremely harder than professional boxing, because in one motherfucking tournament, you might have to fight 5 times, 4 times. Tournament fighting is extremely hard. And I've heard dozens of boxers say that, So with that being said, yeah, man, I jumped straight into Golden Gloves without limited experience, and I thought that it was just stupid. So I went from Golden Gloves and then stopped boxing into mixed martial arts. So at the time, MMA was coming really big, and that was, I got a black belt in Taekwondo, So me and my sister and I. So that being said, I've always loved, martial arts. So I tried to focus on that. Travis and I, and we were doing a bunch of...
Did y'all grow up fighting together?
Training. Yeah, 100%. Like we won, actually, in 2009, we won the silver medals together for the U.S. Open for submission grappling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, real silver medals for the U.S. Open. So out of the Honda Civic Center, out of Long Beach. So
And with that being said, I mean, we pretty much trained ourselves for years, you know, and we would just every single day, you know, Travis and I and like a couple of our friends, we would just roll. You know, we go in the ring and we'd roll, you know, and we'd do this shit, and I'm not exaggerating, for about 6 hours straight, you know, and that was just our life, man, for a long time. And we helped like formulate and push the whole MMA scene in the valley. You know, we were the only ones throwing underground tournaments. Travis had his clothing line, which was really big, Ring and Cage at the time. So we were selling tickets to our own fights and promoting our fight wear, Ring and Cage, you know, which we had. Jeremy put in like around $20,000, I remember, for the clothing company. This was like over 20 years ago. Jeremy Williams.
Was Jeremy still fighting at that
I've known
time?
Jeremy for 25 years. Yeah, Jeremy started doing MMA with us. He was the only one that turned pro in MMA because he got banned from the California State Athletic Commission after getting knocked out by Samuel Peters.
Yeah.
And then so the only place that would allow him to fight was MMA, and so he had like 4 MMA fights.
Wow.
You know, and after Travis left, like he kind of stopped doing MMA, like what we all stopped doing MMA because he left to Florida. But Travis went on and kept doing amateur MMA fights and was racking up his fights. He fought Mike Perry. He lost to Mike Perry. You know who Mike Perry is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis fought Mike Perry in his amateur fight, actually twice. He's fought Mike Perry twice. So when Mike Perry was amateur, he fought Travis in Florida.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, Travis fought Mike Perry in his amateur bout. So we helped formulate this whole MMA, you know. So it wasn't legal in the United States at the time, and UFC was just coming into the United States. You know, you got to remember, I'm 41. This is when we were your age. You know,
Oh, shoot.
this is over 20 years ago. You know, UFC wasn't that big. It was just coming into the United States. Actually, when we started, like it was, like we didn't know anything about UFC. Like we were watching like Pride tournaments. You know, Japan, like
Yeah.
all the tournaments, MMA tournaments, and mainly Pride. So they bought out Pride. You know.
UFC did?
Yeah, UFC brought out Pride Championship fighting. Yeah. So in Pride there was no rules, just soccer stump to the face, kick. Like there's no rules in Pride. You know, that's why it was in Japan. So when they brought out Pride, they said, okay, we'll bring it to the United States, but we have to add rules and regulations. No 3-finger prize. It has to be 4-finger. You know, you can't do, you know, no punching to the back of the head, no kicking while on the ground. So they have to just adjust some of the rules to make it legit here in the United States. So at the time it wasn't, you know, so yeah.
And I heard there's like no money in like MMA now too. Like I heard like they don't pay a lot unless you're like the. Like,
Well, the thing is
top.
the fan base, you know, yeah, you got to understand, but that's in all sports, right? You
Yeah.
know, it's all about your endorsements, your sponsorship, who you're going to bring the crowd. If you got to understand, like, for instance, you know, Nike, you know, they give, you know, Pepsi gave Britney Spears, you know, when she was hot, $80 million to perform at the Super Bowl. Why? Because a lot of people are going to tune in that don't watch football, you know. So anytime you have, you know, and same thing with social media, you know, anytime you have a huge fan base, you know, it's a marketing tool. It's a marketing strategy companies see,
For sure.
you know, you ask. So they'll definitely invest and, you know, make sure they get you on their team, man, for marketing purposes. So, but yeah, man, I mean, that's,
No, this was great. This was great for sure.
yeah, well, next time we'll do a podcast. We'll touch a little bit more on, like, I want to bring my boy up here. I don't know if he'll do it, but I'll touch a little bit more on LA and the culture of LA, and we'll come a little bit more prepared. And as far as, you know, discuss what really is LA, you know, because I'm pretty sure people are interested in, you know, some of the hot spots, you know, some of the gang cultures, some of our vehicle car cultures. You know, there's a lot to talk about, you know, in LA. But yeah, I'm glad we got our chance to introduce.
I appreciate you for
yeah.
coming out, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you for coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
I like those kicks, man. Kev always got some fly shit, man. You can always catch my man here in some fly shit, you know? Right?
Oh,
Kev,
aye.
I love it. Yeah, I love them Dior's, man. You know what? I'm more of a Van guy, but I said I'm gonna start wearing Nikes, you know?
They're falling off.
I
Nike.
love Vans, but
They said they're gonna start like selling them for cheaper now, cause like
Yeah.
no one's buying them anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
well, the thing is, the reason why is because they're focusing on Converse now. You know,
Yeah.
5 years ago they bought out Converse, and they said with the hopes of making their shoes more comfortable. So that's why Converse started adding cushion in their, what is this? Their flaps.
It's like the tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, remember they started putting that in their flaps and on the side. So Nike did that for Converse. So when they bought it out, they said, we are going to make this a more comfortable shoe by adding foam in our tongues and on the side of our shoes. So remember 5 years ago, those Vans started coming out? I mean, the Converse 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
They started coming out with, like, Converse started making, like, cushions in their shoes and shit. Yeah, that's when Nike bought them out.
Even Vans too started. Well, that was I think Vans did it before Converse.
No, they
though.
got the pop cushion. Yeah. They made more so for the skaters. They got the those are the cabs. The half cabs got the more cushion. They're the most cushiony-ish Vans they make. The half cabs. But yeah,
Alrighty.
man. Yeah, I'm gonna start my kick stream, man. The 1st of August. You know.
'Cause what are you gonna stream?
Mainly automotive content, you know.
You're, like,
Mainly
big
go
car.
to all the, cause my boy, he owns Ruthless Riders, and it's like the largest lowrider company. I mean, largest lowrider fucking, you know, group out here in California. Motorcycle lowrider club, so to speak. So it's called Ruthless Riders. So they got a bunch of lowriders on Mondays. So Mondays, I'm gonna start filming 3 times a week. So on Mondays they have. Sundays and Mondays they have lowriders, right? So on Van Nuys Boulevard. Then Wednesday nights, all in California, we've always had what we call bike nights, motorcycle nights. So, yeah, I'm gonna start filming that, and at my body shop, you know, I'm gonna fucking start building my slant back Hummers. You know, I build Hummers and shit. I build cars, so I have a body shop in Van Nuys, Valley Customs. So I'm gonna start focusing on builds, recording that, you know, live stream, and other shit, you know.
Yeah, you can follow me too at it's Kevin Fool. It's Kevin Fool. I'm not a content creator, I'm not an influencer or anything like that, but
Kevin
I post
Fool.
funny shit, crazy shit sometimes, you know.
Check it out.
But
And yeah, mine, King Kieran, of course. But we're definitely going to
I'm going
try to
inside. Thank you,
boost
bro.
everything, man.
Yes, sir. I
Definitely
appreciate
gonna
you,
try
man.
to boost these podcasts and make it more interesting and get some dope ass content.
I appreciate it.
Where you going, fool?
I mean,
Kevin.